Welcome back to my Developer Diary series, where I am going to show you big picture overviews of large-scale projects. Today I'm jumping back into the Open Web framework, and I will be designing the website class interface, which is the basis for any website made with the framework. Just as a reminder, I have tutorials on all of the concepts that I am using in these videos, but if you feel like there's something that I should cover in more depth, please leave a comment below. I can make more tutorials and I will try to help you in the comments. So with that, let's jump into some development. So after creating this new branch in my Git repository, the task for today is going to be to create this website object. And what I'm doing here is using the framework of Flask, but instantiating it in an object. That way anyone using the framework can just import this object and it will do a lot of the generic work for you. What you're seeing right now is this function called the universal routes, and these are going to be routes that are on every web page. So every web page is going to have a home page. Also, every web page is going to need a way for the front end to access a list of all of the active applications, and that is that active applications route. So you can see I created a static variable for active applications, and then anytime I register an application, it is going to be added to that list. That way, when I need the front end to know what applications are currently running, I can hit that universal route and it will return a JSON string for those active applications. Now at this point I want to have an index.html file in the templates folder. That way when I run and test the website, I will get some feedback as to whether or not things are actually working. So I'm using the render template function in the index route, and I need that to be able to test if things are actually running. And as you can see, things are failing to run in general. So I'm doing some debugging here that's really involving me running the program, seeing what the error message says, and then going back and trying to run the program again. And it took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out that website equals flask.flask needs to have __ name in it, as I did right there. And I'm adding the if statement here based on an example that I found online, but that really turns out not to be necessary, so later I delete that. So now I've gotten Flask to actually run, but you saw that I got an internal service error, and that's because Flask was looking for my index.html in the resources folder. So I created another one to prove that that was the case, and I knew I was going to have to do some work later in order to get that to look in the place I wanted it to be. And now you can see me having more trouble with this if statement. And it's totally unnecessary because I don't actually need to check what the name of the program is before I run this. I just want to tell it to run the website regardless of what the name is. Now you can see me creating a function for creating loggers. And the goal here is to create some static variables to reference some logger objects. And the goal here is to make it really easy for users of the framework to be able to debug and access important information about the website. So you're going to want an error log to track errors, and you're also going to want an event log just to see when things happen. And that will include at startup when applications register, when the website itself begins running, and additional things that I'll probably end up adding later. just like I was having trouble getting the index.html to appear in the right place, I also had trouble getting the loggers to appear in the right place. So there's some funny things going on here with where these folders are located, and I figured that out through my process of trying to run the application and then just reading the error messages and continuing to try and fix things until I got it to run. Now you can see that the logs are actually printing out to the file, but they're not getting the correct format. And I have to admit that I copied this function for creating loggers off of the internet. So naturally, it's not working exactly as I expected in the application. So here I'm just changing things around to try and get them formatted correctly and get the logger actually working the way I intended. Such is the danger of copying your answers off of the internet. So I hope you're finding this series interesting. If you are, please leave a like on the video. And if you'd like to keep up with the project, you can subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you for watching.